they program these. You study and you go, they expose the stem cell to all of the chemicals that an injured kidney or whatever organ is damaged, whatever they want it to be turned into. They expose it to the chemicals that injured organ excretes. Right? Program.
Makes sense, yeah.
But they also make sure defeated ketones. A 400% increase in the energy it needs to turn into whatever it wants to turn into, and there's no sugar disrupting the signal.
So yeah, that's strong. But what is that? I see that it's effective, but is that in like a short term, or what are the ones like everyone that does keto craves sugar?
Now we're gonna get somewhere. You crave sugar. How much the longest you've ever been without sugar?
I did like 3 weeks, almost a month.
With no sugar. All meat. Fat. Now think about this. How is that? If you hadn't fasted before, doing all of that, right? Your liver is a muscle, correct? So if you're not eating any sugar to your mouth, your liver is responsible. A muscle is responsible for creating sugar for your brain. If that muscle has never exercised, how long will your liver be able to make sugar, glucose for your brain before it starts suffering fatigue?
A while.
Huh?
Are you talking about like how long?
In real life, the average human being, how long can their liver actually make glucose before it suffers fatigue? Because they've never done it.
Oh, you're saying that it's like working hard to do the gluconeogenesis, so it's like a new muscle in that area. Oh, I didn't know that's like I didn't know that was the chemistry behind it. Okay.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, so I studied that, like glucogenesis in my liver. What is it? It's a muscle. I go, if I make that muscle make sugar every day of my life for 8 months, and then I go sugar-free, how beneficial will this ketogenic diet be and the sugar, cravings of sugar? Not very bad. Now, if I never fasted and I try to go carnivore, how will my sugar cravings be? They tell you it's going to be really bad because your liver can't create enough sugar for your brain yet. It's
not developed enough. Okay, so if you practice like fasting and get your body like fat adapted, so it's and stuff like that. I've done all that, and when I try to go keto, I don't feel, it just feels, I don't know, not right.
Because you're psychologically been taught that.
So
how do you heal yourself in Judaism? Keto, fasting. What does that do to you in real life? Christianity, keto.
But I guess I'm more talking about full time though. Like in the
now we're getting somewhere. How many of your ancestors had modern transportation and refrigeration to eat vegetation 12 months out of the year to never be in keto?
Forever, as long as.
So long-term ketosis is actually part of your genetics. Eating the sugar. How many of your ancestors had a ship to eat pineapples from Hawaii to actually not be in keto?
But didn't they always year-round have like some type of starch year-round?
Now you're getting a root cellar.
Yeah. So then, like, isn't that mean that they're now not in ketosis because they got carb all year round?
Let's study the diet. I eat one potato with my meal every night.
Oh, you think it's just because it's one and it's like that's probably only like 30 grams or something.
Which is that enough to throw me out of keto? If I'm eating the root cellar, like out of a root cellar, like my ancestors did, am I actually getting enough sugar to stay out of keto?
Oh, so you're saying that, yeah, of course they had carbohydrates, but it wasn't like they had plates of mashed. You don't think they had lots? You think they were probably like, they had to ration the food?
Well now we're going to get somewhere. Now let's study kings and queens. Right? Royalty, people who could eat pounds and pounds of mashed potatoes. Well, it's written in pyramids in Egypt. The royalty who ate fruit and vegetables every day died of heart attacks and cancer.
Wow.
As your money increases, your ability to take in sugar,
carbohydrate,
diseases and illnesses accompany it. Wouldn't that be a good secret for Western medication to hide from you?
The best.
They make money off of it, right? I can't make money off of you as a medical industry if you don't have a medical illness. And every ancient civilization has proven. Stop it. Look, if you can't just not eat sugar every day because you know you're not supposed to, I'll make it against your fucking religion. You have to fast for praying. God will forsake you. Mm-hmm. God will forsake you. Jesus, if you don't stop eating fucking sugar, the 7-color rainbow body from Buddhism will not bless you. Will make it part of your. If you can't do it. I'll make it part of your religious structure. If it can't be part of your religious structure, I will force it upon you. Why? Why did we make it a part of the religious structure? Why did we force it upon people? Well, we didn't have the ability to take care of all of these people born with disabilities. That's very interesting. In Egypt, we don't have the resources to divert to all of these children being born with diseases and illnesses because their parents couldn't stop eating sugar. The forbidden fruits.
And when you say sugar, that's synonymous with just carbohydrate feed, right? Like,
well, not anymore. When I say sugar, I literally mean natural sugar.
Okay, so you think that carbohydrate is probably better?
Well, listen. My liver removes or creates pure sugar minus the toxins from fruits and vegetables out of meat and fat. Is there a company out there that will remove those toxins from the sugar for me so I can still consume them in a not thousands of calories, but I can still eat sugar? My liver's the only place that makes pure sugar. But you actually have to take action plans to make pure sugar now.
Everyone's always eating sugar.
Now, the amount of sugar, so you have a caveat. Natural sugar stops the production of stem cells. You can switch over to clean sugar, processed sugar. But I still can't have 10,000 calories of processed sugar. Because then my body's not using the cholesterol in my arteries. I'm not cannibalizing damaged cells to the best of my ability. I'm not telling damaged cells to commit suicide to the best of my ability. But it is healthier for me. For big pharma, Western medicine, and modern agriculture, Monsanto, who creates fruits and vegetables, it's actually healthier for you to eat spoonfuls of pure cane sugar than it is to eat the same amount of sugar in a fruit and a vegetable.
What do you say to the argument that that's where you get all your vitamins and minerals is from the fruits and vegetables, and that if you
in the old days it used to be, but it's not the old days anymore. Is there a manufacturer that has the capabilities of taking all the minerals out of the contaminated sugar supplements?
Really calm.
Why do you tell you ketosis is genetic? You're going to suffer. Mark will suffer vitamin D deficiency. Yeah, right, because of some kind of vitamin or mineral deficiency. My body already struggles. You might struggle processing calcium. Your girlfriend has problems processing magnesium. Everybody's different, right? So my internal organs that are already barely getting enough vitamin B in a ketogenic diet now are severely under the level they need to operate. So after a few months, I start having negative side effects. But I take a vitamin B supplement, and then the long-term side effects that manifest themselves because of the nutrient deficiency. I need to have a nutrient deficiency, so I get some nutrient deficiency. I don't suffer nutrient deficiency.
I guess it's an argument
I think
USA.
they had
I
to
didn't
eat the
click.
What did they do? Rich people, people with strong genetic lineages. We researched that in medicine. Why does you have a strong genetic lineage? So smart. So, well, the women in your family, the men in your family, ate liver, they ate hearts, they ate internal organs. Who
Round
cares?
one.
Well, what's in internal organs? It's vitamin B, sugar-free nutrients, sugar-free nutrients.
No,
All
it's not.
the vitamins of fruits and vegetables.
Exactly.
If I eat a liver, my liver has the ability to
No, it's not.
so I still get the sugar. Plus all the vitamins and nutrients.
What is it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's okay. This is tough. That's how you block. Of course
So
it is.
basically,
off with a daily vitamin, a men or women's daily supplement. If it's not enough, then I
One more hit, one more hit.
It's not working. Take a prenatal. This is very interesting. If you are a drug addict, we're actually going to give you a prenatal. We go, the drugs you've been taking have actually damaged your digestive tract and your ability to absorb nutrients. So you don't suffer the side effects of being in ketosis without actually being in ketosis with nutrient deficiency.
Is it phase 2 in Boston?
So they don't suffer nutrient deficiency. This is very interesting. Why does a drug addict, somebody who use methamphetamine, why don't they feel any pain? And where do they get all the energy? There's no calories in methamphetamines. Can we study that? Yeah, here's a journal. Salt, certain salts, all they do is put you in ketosis and you don't live 72 hours. That's what the energy comes from? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you study methamphetamines outside of the United States, because it's illegal in the country, so I'm not saying I did it in the States. By all means. I went to Europe to study this. I did not do it in the States. But methamphetamines force you into a ketogenic state by sitting fasting for 72 hours within 20 minutes of taking it. If I give you methamphetamines, your body thinks you can do without sugar for 75 minutes. But it's why your body thinks all of the food usage of the electricity that my body is producing is no longer being utilized. Am I going to go down or cease to go down?
And then even when you say this now, look how many people look at.
What are you doing? These old men have oil, man. It's way more than the new one, man. Let's get the Street Fighter shit. This is fast. Oh, sure.
Why does this Medpack have so much energy? They can run through a brick wall. They don't feel any pain.
Yeah.
Why? Well, they're not eating, so they're salivating. They're salivating, they're salivating. What's in their spit? Opioid. Like it hurts. It's not like in your spit today, there's a painkiller in your ancestors. It's inert. It needs to get combined with stimulus. And they can't do this.
Sound of heavy.
It takes the saliva and it swallows it. Pushes it through my kidney and it turns it into one of the strongest
Yeah, that's kind of thing. Oh, I thought I died.
They jumped off the building and they got in the water. Why? Is there any kind of painkiller? No. Where did the painkiller come from? They tell you in science. Their spit. Now, that was fascinating. What do you mean their spit?
Yeah.
It's already. They go. It's already in there. What do you mean it's already in there? It's allowing these drug addicts. I went, what?
9.
They're like, yeah, but you're not even posting. You'll never use it. It's a throwback to evolution. Your ancestors needed it when their legs got too tired to chase a fucking deer. Your ancestors needed it when they got too tired to keep landing salmon. Their arms were sore, their back, they couldn't, but the salmon were there on Monday, they needed to stay there as many as they couldn't drive. They didn't have a pain. And the men and women who were able to activate the pain on their saliva were the most successful. Since they were the most successful, they didn't have
Look at the controls,
There you
man.
go.
Wow.
I
That
do this
makes sense. That's funny.
biohacking. People ask, biohacking is not even a real term, Martin. I go, well, for the Department of Defense it is. Biohacking is a word coined by the Department of Defense
Round
to turn on
1.
favorable epigenetics that are currently laying going.
That's literally Mike Tyson, man.
What would be a favorable epigenetic switch to currently laying going? Your saliva right into but your epigenetics currently laying going. It's specific metabolic state when you realize that. It's not
Nice.
It's a lot of nutrients. Yeah, there's no nutrients.
Humble.
She lost like 60 pounds on fat. She couldn't eat it. Sometimes I said, her particular diet,
Yeah, sure.
she was still having
Whoa, what?
So she gained this. I can have sugar at 7:30, and if I don't eat the night before and during breakfast and lunch, the weight comes up by 5 pounds. When you're having a long enough period of ketosis, you actually get the benefit. Or when you get ketosis for a year, then you're going to have to sleep so much. Simply for training to work, dormant, so turn it on. It's very much once it's operating, it's operating. In order to get this on energy, to stand up and walk, that's hard to stand up.
One more hit. One.
I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get stabbed. I'm gonna have some shit happen to me where I need that startup. A
Quickly.
lot more. Huh?
So you prefer being like metabolically flexible than being long-term ketosis?
Yeah. Well, I need the ability for long-term keto to do it, but I need that jump shot. Like the liver has to come on. I want my liver to come on. 4 times a day, I'm training the liver to go from a standstill from glucogenesis to glucogenesis. What's strengthening that ability? Right? So it's like riding a bicycle. Right? At the beginning, I needed training wheels. Every time I got on the bike, I needed training wheels. But as I got off and on the more times I tried it, pretty soon I need that switch. I want it to come on. Get up and 200 squats. There it is. I can feel. I can feel it.
You can actually, you've got it down to like a relative science where you get a certain amount of reps and you know how much carb you had, and you can actually feel the turn on.
Yeah,
like,
I used to have a piss test and things.
Oh, okay. Why do you look weird?
I worked out, not keto, test,
free soul.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, I got a key blank. Nice. Energy out of ketosis. But how come the game gets harder
increase in the energy they
when,
need.
you,
So
when you're
it
about
still
to
uses
win?
the original 100% it needed
Round
to do its job. But what does it do with that extra?
Makes sense.
I mean, to make you the best you can be. Right.
Where can I find this? Where can someone find this info?
You're giving it. You're giving it.
But like,
Just give it.
so they can verify.
I don't know. Just they give it to you.
This is, it's not on Google.
But you can go to Berkeley. You can go to
Somewhere. That's,
Oxford. You can be chosen. Everybody can join Berkeley. Same science, same information. You got that teacher's pet.
ketosis. If they know it. Really?
You know, so in order for you to invent something, you have to have a streak of lightning, right? Lightning. You're asking about keto. Anything else? We know this today. You want to have your best brain thoughts. You have to have lightning strike. Well, how do I have lightning strike in my brain? It's a metaphor. A 400% increase in my neural capacity. I enter keto while I'm working on my project. Lightning struck. What does that mean? In biology, when money hits the road, what does that mean? I went from the normal 20 watts that operate your and my brain to operating my brain off of 400% more watts.
It's like
Condenser.
it's like a performance enhancing drug.
Now we're getting down to think about
about
this.
400%.
I do this cryptography, and I don't know if it makes sense to anybody. Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Sherlock Holmes and Watson. What does Sherlock Holmes do? Solve problems. How did he solve problems? Elementary. It was elementary. Right?
Elementary, yeah.
Sherlock Holmes and Watson. If I want to raise the sheer logic, Sherlock, if I want to raise the sheer logic of my brain's Watson, I need to manage its own detections and elementary particles of my biology.
did not.
It's crazy that like 400% is drastic. 400% is like a big.
Now here's the thing. 400% is the bottom rung. Some people get a 2,000%
Round one.
increase in
Fight.
everything.
Oh,
Now, why the market a 2,000% increase in the energy use, but you only get a 400%? You've been training your ability to turn that ability up. Like, you saw this study of genetics, evolution, so it's no longer
Japan, E Honda. Yo, chill, what is that? How do I get up? Bro!
I'm just saying,
This game came out today, bro.
Think about
800 would have
promoting
been
this plant-based
canceled
diet.
for
Who
that,
sells you the plants? Where do they come from?
Round 3. Fight.
Johnson and Johnson.
Actually, yeah, the Monsanto. I know like Monsanto. I know Monsanto.
Every you cannot find.
bro. That was
Study.
good, man.
Behind my house, there's a garden master from college. And he left puzzles and stuff and things. I solved it and started part of the
You
game.
win.
Can I purchase a natural fruit and vegetable, something that exists in
I
nature?
need to change this character
No.
quick.
And you go, well, there's blackberries that grow in my yard. Take this blackberry. Look, it's natural. You go, is it really? And you study, go, no, actually, it came from a pharmaceutical company. The blackberries that grow on the side of the street came from a pharmaceutical company. Every fruit vegetable I buy in the store came from a pharmaceutical company.
They're
Everyone.
literally feeding. It's so crazy too, because like
So I
all
actually
the
beat him.
fruits, like so I did some research on
Nice.
fruits and hybridization and what
Now I
they've done
could
to
change the
fruits,
character.
and I didn't really connect them so much to pharmaceuticals. I connected it more as like, you know, these
Oh,
companies wanted the
man,
fruits to
come
taste
on,
more,
bro.
sell more.
Don't do a entire tournament.
Way sweeter than anything we found in nature 100 years ago.
So how do we get that extra sugar in the plants?
Genetically modified. Yeah.
But how does it make more sugar? It has to pull in more resources from the air, water, and soil. What is in the
Fight.
Oh yeah.
They make it.
Designed today for that.
Bob Marley on top.
Is it from more happy than an apple?
You live in God, man. No, you beat it. You beat it.
Now this is funny. Family comes from farming. You can buy a product that is not farming.
You win.
I got pants for these people.
We can purchase it still and have it
The ones beat their ass.
grow organically, sell it to the public, and that new organic crop
That's
will
how
clean
you
up
do
the
it.
so that we can now plant our asparagus that we want. Actually, breaks in this food. Too many toxins.
That's too easy, man.
Greenhouse. I could
No
tell you.
way.
We bought contaminated land as farming because we're poor in the beginning. Very contaminated land. Well, what are we going to do? We're just going to grow grass on it, and we'll sell the grass for animals. So 2 years grew grass. Now what are we going to do?
Now
We're
it's
going to
clean
try. No, well, 2 years we made money selling grass. To, hey, now we're going to plant beer hops. The beer hops do that more cleaning, and we're going to switch over to asparagus or grapes, and they can be labeled organic because all the other shit we grew first cleaned out the land.
What are your thoughts then on organic meats then? Because organic, because like, what do you think about the whole like? Because if
Hong
Yes,
Kong.
thank you.
Hong Kong, she
Meat
did
is
it.
not a big deal.
That the world would beat
We
everyone.
actually, Islam, Hinduism, they actually process
is
plant-based
Bruce
diet
Lee?
that we fed the animal don't leak into the meat. It's just something we don't do in the United States.
what do they? Because I know that like halal doesn't use like certain things in their animals and they process. But do you know specifically what they do the
Round
processes to make
one.
it so it doesn't have the toxin?
Fight.
Yeah, they don't stress the animal out. Like, an American cow can kick another cow in the kidney and we'll still process that cow to be butchered and sold to you. So American animals can injure each other. The owners can injure the animals. Like, it takes an injured internal organ to
That's
leak
right.
the toxins from a plant-based diet
That's why
into
you
the
gotta
meat,
eat
so the meat is
halal.
toxic. Halal, kosher, other countries, they just don't allow the animal to get used. So it leaks toxins. All the toxins stay in the plant.
So
I
you
mean, it's fascinating, like Islam. Like, why do I gotta buy my Islamic friends this steak and not this steak? Well, this steak came from a cow that wasn't stressed and wasn't injured, and it was processed, so none of the toxins from its
They
plant-based
cut the
diet
neck.
could leak from a damaged internal
You
organ
can't
into its
shoot
meat.
it. You can't electrocute it.
so it's not so much. So it's not so much from the animal's diet. It's
all
organs
how
that
we
have problems.
How we take care of it. None of it is from the. Right, I can only get toxins built up in my system from sugar. Right? I can eat mercury laden fish to repair my traumatic brain injury, but I
Hey,
can't
this
eat
week, this week.
animals. Why? Because my body will take that.
They
fish.
come in the water.
My body will take sugar out of the fish.
Yeah, I gotta go through that.
Same sound. It's pretty good. Nope. No way I'm losing, bro. Bro.
Don't have a woman hypnotized by you. Like, come on with the egomaniac bullshit, guys. Knock it the fuck off. I understand you want to
These
make
are from earlier. Leave them. So let's finish that. I swear I seen him recently on TikTok. I'm not sure if he's still uploading on
to
that
make you money,
account.
so it's worth
He
it.
got banned.
You know, yada yada yada.
Probably, if I can.
Well, it's not probably. Here's the thing: when it comes to business, there's no probabilities. It's yes or no.
Okay, that's pretty fair, right? That's
When it comes to business, you know, figure out what all of your overhead costs are. So your parts,
Okay.
labor, right? You know, are you planning on
Round 2. Fight.
Weekly said go put a shirt on. He said, lady, go put some pants on. You are trained to be a great loser. Now you must learn to fight.
9.
feel like you're smart enough, like you're pre-game smarts to capitalize, you know, because it's like you.
Well, you never get anywhere. I mean, you think your aspect, you're never going to get anywhere in life. I mean, you
Round
can't just
1.
revolve around money.
Fight.
Okay.
You have to have a great day.
Shenlong, look at Shenlong as a peacock. Another Shenlong. That's a funny attack. What is that, man? The frame of it? Turned into a bird. It's broken.
You win.
It costs somebody else money.
People
Yeah,
revolve so much around money.
Yeah, money.
Like that last guy who wanted to like sell his bum ass gun, but
You know,
Well, you
it
can
can
compare with
be
my
wielded
powers.
what do you
incorrectly.
think? What do you think the worst character trait is?
Frickin' greed.
Yeah, I along with that, I say pride too.
But you know, yeah, greed and pride. But I think mostly greed, because greed opens the door for all sorts of stuff. I say greed because
What is that, Lexi? Oh, I have to be down. Look at these games. These games are teaching kids destruction. Did I break the whole? I didn't even break the whole car.
let's see, skater cereal. Skater cereal. It's very interesting.
10.
USA.
Nothing really. It's just very, you know, it's very depressing outside the sim. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Martin?
Pretty good.
I had a question about if it's all right to ask
Round
about
1.
trauma and
Fight.
how far you've come, I guess, in your
Fight.
experiences.
Time to get training thing.
right. Well, with memories, like you and I both know that like memories are one of those things. Like,
Round
they're not always.
fight.
Of everybody else.
That's a comeback. That's a comeback to the century. What the heck?
Win.
I should have died. His last attack.
Or were they in your pockets?
Oh, no, that makes sense. Oh wow. Oh
See, look,
yeah, no, you can't really tell.
yeah, see what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
So I beat him,
brain
right?
allows you to believe your memories are 100% correct.
Crazy.
It allows you to imagine them in your pocket, so you don't have to worry about not remembering what happened an hour ago. Because it gets pretty scary. You go, I don't remember where my hands were an hour ago. What was
What
I?
if they weren't there at all?
China.
China.
Like, okay, you.
What's up, Chumby?
Exactly an hour ago.
Yeah, there's no way to tell.
So you don't know what your hands were doing, and you don't even know what your mouth was saying an hour ago. But your memory is solid, right? We've raised you to believe your memory is
Round
great.
1
Is it really?
fight.
I remember reading on a study that you know,
Whoa. That was a good 2-hit combo.
You win.
I'm always getting these judges with real help, man.
Fight.
Oh my. That was a perfect. I even hit it once.
You lose.
Perfect.
well, that's good.
But you know, is that?
Well, Martin, I
Round
Go ahead. Sorry.
3
But is that,
fight.
tell yourself that. I don't even-
It's crazy. What the hell?
Very important.
What is that? But move. You don't want to move.
In one police department that says we only hire officers with a photographic memory. There's not one that does that. You go, okay, so let's study that psychology in the reports that the police officers do where there's actual videotape.
9.
About it. You go, what do you mean 9 out of 10 times a cop writes something down? It's not exactly what happened. Or 9 out of 10 times a teacher. And I don't mean to single out cops, but just anybody in general. 9 out of 10 times, it's not 100%. So we raised you. I have like firemen.
You gotta take the title
What they're telling you
strongest
is
one.
100% correct. When over 90% of the
well, as a kid, that's how you like learn your new experiences, and like as a kid, you go into the world and you don't really know a whole lot. So you look to the people who have
Round
had those
1
experiences, and you
fight.
trust their judgment.
Now get this.
Whoa. Really? I don't know how to do the attack.
Even though their memory fills in the blanks, it doesn't fill in blanks to put
Key
themselves in
blast. How
personal
do you do
danger.
key blast?
Per se, you know what I mean? Your psychology, right? When we're going over a trestle that might be missing some railing and things like this, and do you remember how to cross the bridge? You're going to say yes, right? And even though you're going to remember.
9.
Situation as well. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. So once you have an experience, your brain associates that with, okay, I can trust this. And how watching this video. I don't play a whole lot of video games personally, but I was watching it and they were talking about how sudden sounds that you don't expect, and how that can jump out at you and cause, you can get startled.
Round
Then you have
1.
the absence of sound,
Fight.
where that's where intensity. And it's like you have these experiences. So let's say you have the second, for example. I know I'm getting somewhere. Don't worry. There is a lot of sound that involves loud jump scaring, loud experiences. So once you go into the third one, which is a very different game, they actually utilize the sound in a different way. So you don't exactly trust what you're playing. And that somehow creates an intensity. And it's like you have these experiences. So let's say you have the second Five Nights at Freddy's birthday game, for example. I know I'm getting somewhere. Don't worry. There is a lot of sound that involves, and it's like you have these experiences. So let's say you have the second Five Nights at Freddy's birthday game, for example. I know I'm getting somewhere. Don't worry. There is a lot of sound that involves loud jump scaring, loud experiences. So once you go into the third one, which is a very different game, they actually utilize the sound in a different way. So you don't exactly trust what you're playing and hearing. So it's your memories from the second one you played, the one you played prior to this one. It affects your ability to do the third one, and then the fourth one does the same thing, but it takes something different that was different from the other two that you played. So I guess I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I have a hard time wording it.
Associating sounds, or sounds associate memories.
Yes, all your senses do. I mean, like, a child learns not to touch a red hot burner because they burn themselves.
Yep.
I mean, then you have, you learn not to go near this cat when its tail. You learn not to go near the dog that's tail's tucked between its legs because you don't want to get bit. Little things like that. Little events that happen to you. You learn once, and you only need to learn them once. But I guess my question is if you were to take a risk and try something new, how much stuff do people not know because they tried it once and the outcome wasn't as it normally is? You know what I mean? Like
a lot. Now you're getting somewhere. Holy moly! The level of information you have dictates your observation, but that doesn't mean your level of information you have allows you to have an observation where you walk away with even 3% of reality.
Yeah. For example, I recently learned, with the crows that I was telling you about earlier, that when they peck at the ground in front of you, that's for the crows that are here. I live around the Boston area.
Yeah.
When they peck at the ground, that's how they ask for food. I didn't know that until I was, walking down the road. I think I was eating something. And I think I dropped something, and then a crow ate it, and they pecked at the ground.
Nice.
You win. Fight.
Wait.
Martin, I've been watching a lot of your videos recently just because, I find it interesting. And a lot of people, I've noticed they ask a lot of questions like this stuff. But I've always been the type of person who takes other people's stories, experiences, documentation, and I learn from it. Because I've noticed that a common thing that I think people really should consider utilizing is not only learning from their own experiences. For example, the kid poking the finger on the burner, but also other people's experiences. But that's not to say like, you know, you can't learn for yourself. You know, it's like I find that when learning from somebody else, until I decide to utilize that information that I absorbed and put it to use for myself and experience those experiences myself, I don't fully grasp any concepts until I have had both intakes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you ever walk through that, walk into the shoes?
Yeah. So it's like I need to share somebody's shoes in order to
Bro.
really understand how comfortable they are. Like they can tell me, oh, these shoes are so
totally, I totally get that. You know, I do things. You talk about watching my video. I do things sometimes just because somebody else did them, and you know they got a good result or a bad result, and they're asking me my perspective. I'm like, I don't know. Let me walk. I don't know. Let me walk in your shoes. You know, there's a TikTok page. A guy, Matt's all right. You know, he had a panic attack in a mall with his kid in a stroller, if I remember 100% correctly, or you know, and I listened to him talk about the situation and how he was approached and stuff like that. And I personally happen to have a mall where I had to go and walk in circles, you know, when I had a traumatic brain injury and when I got finished some schooling stuff. And I knew I couldn't walk specifically in his footsteps for the panic attack part, but I could, you know, I know because I know I have autism. I know people don't like it, so I knew because of you know my autism, I would be put in a similar state, so I could get his perspective. I can understand what it feels like in that situation of a panic and people don't know how to deal with you. You know what I mean? And so I get what I know walking in somebody else's footsteps. I try that as much as possible. How do you understand something if you don't look at through their eyes? And how do you look at through their eyes if you weren't standing in their shoes in the direction that they were looking?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like an analogy that works for this. It's kind of like, you know how you can't, when you throw a pebble in the water, you can't get the same ripples in the same spot? Or like, when you take a cup of water in a pond, you pour it back, you can't get the same water back.
So you know, you throw a pebble in a pond and you get that ripple, that wave that will erode the foundation of a building. I can't throw a rocket and replicate that, but I can still replicate the ripple, so I can watch how the waves erode a foundation.
That's really insightful.
Right? I can still, right? You see what I'm saying? I can't throw a rock in that exact same spot and replicate those exact same ripples that eroded the foundation of a building. But I can study all the other ripples that I might make so that I can see how they affect that foundation.
That makes sense. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate this talk. I do have to get going. Before I go, I would like to show you something. I don't know if you... I think I saw you smoke a video of you smoking marijuana. Yeah. But I got this. It's a lighter with a pickle on it.
Pickle Rick.
Yeah, Pickle Bick.
Pickle Bick. That's hilarious. Pickle Bick.
Yeah. Well, have a good day, Martin. Thank you.
God bless.
You as well.
Go live.
Hey, Martin. What's going on?
How long have you been following me?
Probably a little over a year now.
So before, you know, through 1 or 2 resets?
Yeah, through at least one, I believe. That was when I was dissecting everything, and I started to realize the gravity of everything.
Oh, right.
Yes,
I feel like I'm in a hardcore simulation.
He's Japanese. I never knew that.
Another day, another sim.
I was
I think
American.
so, man.
Oh. But
Ken is American.
sitting here with the little Chewini right now.
Nice.
Got a cute little lap dog. But
That's solid simulation. 3 years almost. Some of them followed me for a while.
yeah, no, it's funny. I knew about your account before, but I never followed you. But I've known you for probably about 2 years, but never really followed it for about a year and a half. But I want to talk a little bit about theology. I know we've discussed theology things before, but I was just talking to my girlfriend a little bit about everything. I was trying to explain to her because she's Jewish as well, and she got like, you know, she got a little offended, and I was kind of like, you know, upset and a little shocked that she was so offended by that. But I was just trying to talk to her about, you know, the Tower of Babel.
That was easy.
How things predate Abraham and religions, and I was just wondering if you
We can manage it. You have to understand cognitive dissonance. It's not her fault. You know, we have this thing in psychology called cognitive dissonance, where you can't control it. When your brain has 2 sets of beliefs that contradict each other, you're usually going to align with, or two sets of beliefs that contradict each other. You're going to usually, over 90% of the time, you're going to align with whatever
Keep doing that, Hadouken.
Your parents align with, whether it's factual or not.
Yep, which makes sense.
Those guys too easy, bro.
It's weird. She doesn't consider herself, and I would consider her an Orthodox Jew, almost like a conservative Jew. You know what I mean? Like practices on holidays, but you know doesn't do all the other things. So I was just wondering if you could perhaps go a little bit more in detail, especially for other people in the chat too, about the Tower of Babel and the significance of it. And
But
the
Chun-Li
most
is
significant thing
5 times harder than
in
right.
Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. It is the most significant thing there is. I mean, they tell you.
5 times
man,
harder, bro.
In all of his infinite wisdom,
Way
tried
stronger.
to create towers to God. Right? They tried to create towers to God. People take that literal. Like they tried to build towers all the way to God.
Yeah.
No. They built towers, pyramids, and with all of the information to get to God, not climb up to the sky to God, to find God. You know, Exodus, right? We were covering that the other day. Exodus. What is Exodus in Judaism?
the slaves escaping from Pharaoh and migrating to find Israel.
Right. So,
What was
very interesting. So you have some
What?
escaped slaves or some slaves reading these Towers of Babel, and all they can read is Israel. and you're told, it exists somewhere in the
I'm
light.
supposed to do something?
Without the education, what is the light? We're not really sure. Let's go on. Let's go find Exodus though. We can tell you. These slaves
Okay,
were
break.
in these towers that were Babel because they couldn't read them. They weren't Egyptian. They were people from other cultures, other countries. They could not read Egyptian. They had no idea what the information was saying. But there's information on tabernacles, making a tabernacle or monstrance, which they call the sun disk in Egypt, so that you could see Israel, Elohim.
Yeah.
How significant are those towers of Babel? They're very significant because they specifically
Allahumma.
tell you how it is in Judaism they were expected to see Yahweh, or how in Islam you're expected to see Allah, or how in Christianity you're expected to see Jesus.
Yeah, on the Day of Judgment.
Condition to see it.
Mhm.
Well, how do you do it? Well, you don't know if you don't actually study like you're required to.
Yeah, exactly. And I also thought it was kind of fascinating too how I was just doing some etymology.
Elohim,
The
Allahumma.
Hebrew word for Babel means to confuse.
This
which I thought
guy's
was pretty fascinating as well.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now, when I take the Hebrew word for Babel to confuse,
Yo,
when I
let
babble
go.
on, language in linguistics. So the Hebrew word for Babel means to confuse, and when I babble on, what does Babylon mean? You ever Google just babbling on? When I
Yeah.
babble,
It can be confusing, right?
There you go, exactly.
The city of Babylon.
Right in the city of confusion.
That's what he's doing with his live stream.
Towers of
He's
Babel,
babbling
towers
on.
of confusion. Can't read them. I mean, in Judaism, they told you this is where we got our information from, and we did the best we could when we wrote the Torah. But we got it from the towers of confusion because even when we did our best, 90% of the information still confused us. We still didn't understand it.
Is that in Genesis where they talk about the Tower of Babel? Like, can I find some, like, perhaps some quotes or something?
This guy's hard with that.
Biblical research.
And good teacher points and great student blazes the path. But the towers of Babel, you're gonna have to look mostly into Judaism.
Gotcha.
Christianity, they talk about it a lot in Islam and in Christianity, but they only talk about it because this information was first in Judaism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if you want sources, source old Jewish scripture.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I gotta do that. I was trying to find a way to articulate to her. She was like, no, Jewish people got their information from Moses, who got his information from the burning bush, and I didn't really know how to refute that point because I think it's just hard to convince somebody otherwise if they are convinced.
So this is what people don't understand. I can show you a picture of that body of light in the burning bush. It exists. Moses, Cain and Abel, Noah. It's all one body. And that's what we get somewhere like, we had some highly educated people writing information on towers, pyramids, and then we had some slaves who didn't understand this stuff very well. So they broke the information down. Just like you think about the Noah, Moses, all those in the Bible, it's the same thing as Hinduism. Hinduism has a lot of different, what they call gods. But at the end of the day, they tell you all of our gods are just personalities or traits of a singular God that has too much information for us to just understand if you give it as one person or one entity.
Yeah, which explains why you see the personification of the Hindu gods and Roman gods and Greek gods. That
Well, what the
kind of
heck,
just,
dude?
a lot of the times just depictions of
Why your
astrological
world type
movements
move,
of our
man?
own sun.
Apologize.
Astrological
Just let go,
movement
let go.
Of our own sun in a specific
Place
you know,
at time.
thing for doing,
Oh my.
But yeah, I mean, literally, Exodus. Now you're asking where do you get more information? Jewish scripture, Exodus. How did Exodus from Egypt take place? Where did they get their information? Yeah, the information, and I get that understanding. She's like, no, they got it from God. Yes, they did. But where did God give it? And that's where the misunderstanding is. Yeah, the information came from God. But who and where did God give it? It's on the towers of Babel. Yeah, God gave mankind some information, and we put on some pyramids. And all of our information, it did come from God. And that's where people they take some, the things they shouldn't take literal, they take way too literal. And the things they should take literal, they don't take literal at all.
Yeah, I think I got like 95% of the way there. I was explaining it to her. I just think the biggest disconnect was she's like convinced of like the figures of these people, and like is convinced that Moses got his information from Mount Sinai. You know what I mean? Like she believes just in the Torah itself. And when I brought up
Mount what?
Mount Sinai.
Now this is very interesting. There's a capstone on a tower from Babel that's called Mount Sinai.
Really?
And then they named a mountain after it later on.
Wow. See, that makes.
That's why the capstone is important, because it holds the energy within the pyramid or the person. That's why people should wear hats.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah,
it
to
had
hold
to
their
come from
energy.
somewhere first,
Cap-
and then you
cap-
rename a mountain later, right?
Yeah. No, so I learned that in Jewish because I was one of the. I read the story. They told me the story when I was a kid about Muhammad climbing Mount Sinai and putting some scriptures in a cave and from Islam, taking information. And I wanted to study that. And old Jewish scripture, like before we named the mountain.
Yeah, but it wasn't Mount Sinai. It was Jabal Nur, the mountain of light, the cave of Hira, Ghar Hira. and that's where the angel Gabriel descended upon. Where that's where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to go and meditate. He used to meditate there in the cave, and then that's where he got the first revelation. He never really took scriptures up there, but that's where he received the first revelation of the Holy Quran. And this was when he was 40 years old.
Told me the story when I was a kid about Muhammad climbing Mount Sinai and putting some scriptures in a cave and from Islam, you know, taking information. And I wanted to study that. And old Jewish scriptures were like, you know, before we named the mountain, it was the name of a tower. Where God gave all the information. It's a tower. It's an actual, like a capstone. It's the name, the Egyptian or Babylonian or Sumerian or whatever they named it. Actually, this is a tower. And on that capstone named Mount Sinai, it actually has a picture of a guy with this. I shouldn't say a guy, but a stone figure dude carved into the rock, holding a disc up to the sun. And then you follow the things along, and like it shows you, like, you know, a body of light with wings stand. Like he did this, and then this showed up. Gotcha. Where do you get the information for Sunday's Tabernacle Monsters? You do get it from Mount Sinai, but it's the mount of a pyramid, not the mount of a mountain. And then we get light with wings stand, like he did this, and then this guy with this. I shouldn't say guy, but a stone figure dude. Carved into the rock, holding a disc up to the sun, and then you follow the things along, and like it shows you, like, you know, a body of light with wings standing, like he did this, and then this showed up. The name, you know, Egyptian or Babylonian or Sumerian or whatever they named it. Actual, this is a tower, and on that capstone named Mount Sinai, it actually has a picture of a guy with this. I shouldn't say a guy, but a stone figure dude carved into the rock, holding a disc up to the sun, and then you follow the things along, and like it shows you, like, you know, a body of light with wings standing, like he did this, and then this showed up.
Gotcha.
And so where do you get the information for Sunday's Tabernacle Monsters? You do get it from Mount Sinai, but it's the mount of a pyramid, not the mount of a mountain. And then we named a mountain, and they named a mountain after it. Just like Israel, right? We named a nation after Israel is it from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's written all over the pyramids, and then we named an entire nation after the fact. So if we're doing that for a whole nation that Palestine's fighting with, would we have done it with anything else? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Continue the babble, continue the confusion.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Continue it, I guess. I think people just didn't understand. I think some people, originally it was just out of confusion on accident. You know, babble. I mean, they call it babble for a reason, to confuse.
Yeah.
It's confusing. They didn't say we're doing it to confuse, no, we're getting it as confusion. We received information as confusion. Right? They weren't telling you we're taking information and we're going to make it confusing. They said, well, no, we got information that's confusing. We got it confusing, and we tried to make sense of it the best we could. And as human intelligence raises, that confusion goes away more and more and more. You go, yeah, you know, you're reading a story about, literally, on Towers of Babel. Oh, Moses, separating drinkable water from the Red Sea using a basket. Where did Moses come from? A basket out of the Red Sea. It's literally written on stones. But it doesn't, you know, the level of education you have when you read that, you know, like, you know, a farmer and a slave reading that. There's a dude that came out of the thing, and, you know, and it separated the Red Sea. You think as a person, if that makes sense. You go back and, you know, read the stories as humanity's basic understanding of natural sciences raises, right? We start to understand things more. Our brain, God's giving us more brain capacity as you know, generations get on, our brain gets stronger and stronger. Oh, Moses. Yeah, it does separate drinkable water from the Red Sea. And there's a key word there in the beginning, it separates drinkable water from the Red Sea. They leave drinkable out and they just say Red Sea. But in the original scriptures, it says drinkable water. That's a very defining point. That's a very important detail. Right? And I have that. Remember every detail. The devil's in the details. The devil's in the details. Oh, Moses separates drinkable water from the Red Sea. That changes perspectives when you leave out that one little drinkable.
So has the Torah itself, I know we've talked about the Bible and how King James has perverted it, the New Testament, but has the Old Testament and the Old Hebrew Bible, was that interpreted or misconstrued in any way by men?
I think, no, they just, you know, understood it the best they could. Not, you know, misconstrued or messed up. No, we just understood it the best we could. And that's where the I mean, Jewish nation, they are waiting on a Messiah. But what's the Messiah do? Reread the original information so we can have a better understanding. I mean, you think about the most interesting thing about the Hebrew nation, we're awaiting a Messiah. Well, what's that messenger going to do? Reread the original messages and give us, just tell us a different perspective that will be more closer to what we understand here. You know, that's interesting. We're going to tell you the whole story again of how the Son is born in the flesh and rises again, germination. And we're going to reread the whole thing and give us a better understanding. not gonna get, like, it's not new information. It's just rereading the old thing with a better understanding. Now, your brain, reading those hieroglyphs or even the Torah, reading it today with your level of education and intelligence, do you think you're going to have a different, you're going to walk away with a different story and a different understanding because of the basic information you have in natural sciences today than someone did 1,000 years ago?
For sure. Especially as science has progressed. And, having been gifted this information by you, I don't even know how to describe it on this type of perspective. Because it's almost kind of like you sit down with the Bible, you sit down with an ancient piece of literature, and you kind of put yourself in this mindset. And you take things very literally instead of trying to view things from a different point of view. So it's a mindset shift. There's a lot of people going in there thinking that these are 100% real people. This is a handwritten account of a real event that happened, and they're not thinking about the underlying meanings of the story. They're just thinking about the morals.
Well, now, and that's very important to say that they're just thinking about the morals. Now we know in Judaism, some of the stuff wasn't construed to be heinous or evil, but to make sure you understood the moral point first before you gathered the power to enslave an entire nation. You know, think of osmosis in the desert back then. If you could give everybody drinkable water, you'd be a king. You could be a warlord. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So we want you to have that moral clause first. Like, don't go killing everybody. Don't go being a bad person. Don't go, trying to raise blah, 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 blah.
But here's how you do that.
Exactly.
Step. Gotcha.
Exactly. And then, say me and you were reading that. I have that in me. Enslaved, captured, enslaved. I'm never going to get past that. Reading Moses. I get there's a moral point here, but, that moral point's going to speak to me because I have a little bit of impurity and morality in my heart. I'm never going to get past that. Find that extra phrase like you might. If you didn't have that impure part, you'd get that extra verse, drinkable water. Well, that changes everything. How did you get that extra verse, drinkable water? How did you focus on that detail? Right? Your brain was trained to latch onto the things that you needed to keep you moral and keep you righteous. You're already righteous and already moral, so you're able to see past this. Where unrighteous people and immoral people don't get past it. And that's the things they teach you from rabbis when you go to synagogue. Like, there's things in the Torah that are there specifically to catch you, to stop your impurities, to stop your immorality from spreading and getting worse. They're there for a reason. But we progress so far. Those moral clauses, do we need them for everybody else? I think humanity's advanced enough where the moral clauses aren't necessarily required because people are just born with the morals. Right? We gave you those moral clauses, right, for generations and generations because people didn't have them. Now, after 10 generations, children are just being born with those morals. And those children who are being born with those morals don't have those immoralities because they're born with them. Getting them hung up on verses. Their ego's not like, this has to be real because if it's not, I'm going to hell because I want to kill my neighbor sometimes when I fight them. Sometimes I want to, you get people like that.
They're like, it's kind of like a zero-day exploit. They're exploiting human emotions and trying to make you feel a certain way. Even though you're not like that, most people, for that matter, are not going to want to kill their neighbor. But that temptation might be there, and it's not like you're actually going to go do it. And you need this piece of literature to at least keep you accepted.
Yeah, so that temptation might be there. And if you have that temptation, right, that ember has the chance to be turned into a full-on fire. So we don't fan the flame. We don't fan that ember so we get some flames and catch them and start a big fire. Right? We give you some, go work on this until it goes away. And some people, like, you look at some people's Torah, some people's Bibles and things, they highlight the same verses about stealing and robbing and killing, and they read them every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Thou shalt not kill. I've been to many churches where the pastors like you have that highlighted. Like, you're a leader of a church, and the most important verse for you, tell yourself every day is, you shall not kill. So like, yep.
Oh.
So like, yeah, it's one my highlighted verses. Yep, that's one of the my 50 verses that I read every single day. Thou shalt not kill. And I think about that, like, you get a 60-year-old lady and she doesn't have that highlighted. It never even crossed her mind. Like, I better highlight this and memorize this verse every single day.
That's very fascinating.
Yeah,
Psychologically tricking yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it's not too mean, but you got grown men that have to highlight that verse and read it every day when they go. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. Tomorrow when I get up, I'm going to read the verse. Thou shalt not kill. When you read the whole Bible, that's the grown men. Those are the verses you had to highlight and read yourself every single day. Every single day. I give the book to a 10-year-old kid, born in a different social structure, and that's not what he's highlighting.
Yeah, he's highlighting John 3:16.
Right.
God loved the world so much.
Right.
I love that verse, Martin. Have you ever? I'm sure you have, but that verse, God loved the world so much that he. Yeah, if you would just change son to son instead of SON to SUN, total different meaning change, and it just makes so much sense. I had that epiphany a couple weeks ago.
God loved the world so much, he gave his only begotten son that gives us our daily bread. When you change it to SUN, those miracles become facts of reality, things that you can prove.
Literally.
But and that's what I talk about in the old days, and I think they might still do it today for Judaism. I don't know if you had your bar mitzvah, but I had one. They teach you that those Passover, all of that stuff. If you as you go to school and you get an education, you start learning. Switching that O to a U. You start getting closer to God. How does that even make sense? God is light, and you're learning about how light gives you daily bread. Goes back to the previous episode. You're learning about God's power. You're learning how God works.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're learning how God works. And so while I was learning how God works, the perspectives I was given as a kid are now disproven.
Done.
Dang, I'm an atheist. But the more I learn of these natural
Power
sciences,
driver.
like,
Keystone
this
power
light,
driver.
it does sacrifice itself on a cross to create me in its image. It does do all of those things. Not the way I was told, but it does do it.
Salvation from starvation.
It does do it. It was a big thing in the Jewish Empire, salvation from starvation. They didn't. Nobody liked paying the pharaohs for bread. You slaved all day long working, and then you had to pay for food.
Yeah, pay for anything, really, right?
Yeah, learning how to grow your own crops was a huge thing in Exodus. Being able to set yourself free from a man playing God.
Yeah.
You got a Pharaoh like, I'm your God, I am God on earth. I give you your daily bread. And in Exodus, like, we learned that if we take the Son of God in the sky, wrap its dead body in a shroud, and place it in the tomb, it will rise again 3 days later. And God will give us our daily bread.
Yeah. Or we'll leave out a piece of rotten fruit.
Yeah, so God will do it. They didn't have to rely on a man.
I love that. I love just hearing it. I love just having these conversations. It just makes me feel so grateful for everything. You know what I mean? Just having the ability to have these thoughts and have the ability to think for yourself. Have the ability, like, you know what I mean? Just understanding what all of our ancestors went through for us to get to this point. It's almost kind of a shame to keep following blind faith. It's a shame to not do your own research.
I say that at today's date, where we're at today, I can give you the information so that you may see the Creator with your naked eye. I can teach you how to use one of those devices that allows the Pope, the highest ranking rabbis in Judaism, the highest ranking, I can't say the name, I stutter, in Islam, the highest ranking people in Hinduism, the highest ranking people in Buddhism. I can show you the device that the highest ranking people in every religion use to see a body of light that they say hasn't spoken to any one of them in over 1,000 years. They can look at it, but it doesn't speak to them. Which is fascinating. So every religion, Judaism, Vikings, everyone, they have a device that allows them to see this body of light. I mean, they call it the seven-color rainbow body in Buddhism. And they all say it hasn't spoken to anybody else, any of us that are looking at it, any of us that can use the device and look at it. It hasn't spoken to us in over 1,000 years. And my thing is like, well, maybe you guys aren't the ones that are supposed to be looking at it. Maybe it's your people.
Yeah. I mean, that begs the question too when we talk about, divine intervention and morality. We've already talked that God doesn't know morals. Morals is a human created thing. So how would God choose when and who to speak to? And how would he know, or how would it know who is right to know?
It's just God's gift, God's ability. Who are we to question?
You're right.
When I was a kid, I thought there's this body light called a stupid book, and I don't want it. I refuse to know, like, who are you? Who are you to question? If it's real, who are you, Mark, to question what we think is God? Who are you? Like, I'm the person that's offering the book to you. I want it. But, as I grow up, you think about that. Who are you? Who are we to question how things work?
That's true.
Who are we? What gives us the right to question?
It's a great question. The only response I could ever say is the fact that we're the children of God. At least that's personally, I think.
Well, I guess so. We're the children of God. So who are we to question it? Well, maybe it's not to question why, but how.
Yeah, that's true.
Not why.
Why? I don't get you so far.
Exactly. Why? Well, why is an opinion? How? How can you prove it?
That's facts.
Whys are opinions. Hows are just facts of reality. This is how you turn the thermostat up in my house. Right? Why we turn it up is a matter of opinion.
Very good point. Very good point.
It's a I mean, you're created in the image of the seven-colored rainbow body, and one day, somebody's going to be born to teach you how. You're like, well, how? It will speak to somebody and tell them. Well, that's interesting. In Christianity, just like Buddhism, you're created in the image of that body of light. And one day, someone will be born to teach you how. Wow. In Judaism, you're created in the image of the body of light, and one day, someone will be born to teach you how. In Islam, you're created in the image of God. It has no earthly figure. No man has laid their eyes upon it. But someday, somebody will be born to lay their eyes upon it and teach us how we're created in its image. Like Hinduism, you're created in the image that is our singular God that we broke up into many, many personalities from many, many different gods. And one day, someone will be born to teach you how. Now we just got to find that person. Give me my timer.
I think somebody did. Well, hopefully I can hop on a little later this afternoon. Maybe change the subject a little bit. But thank you again for the information, Martin. I'll certainly be relaying this to people.
God bless.
God bless. Spread the message.
ねえ、部屋の中で縄跳びしないでって言ったよね。
そう
言ったわよ。それにトレーニングの道具散らかさないでよ。忘れたの。
そうだっけ。毎日メニューなんだ。
ほら、すっごく汚れてるじゃない。やめて。いた。
危ないな。
Dangerous.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by our new social network, Spirit Mysteries. Stay tuned to the end to learn more about it. Alas, while lately we've been looking at the chakras, minor and major, soul star and beyond, along with the kundalini and more, the truth is, the chakras truly are only a stepping stone to an even greater awareness. And so today it's time to dive deep into the nature of the light body itself. So buckle up and get ready. And if you haven't yet, make sure to download the free chakra meditation to get the most of your light body experience. Links in the description. Please enjoy the video. When exploring the light body, one of the first things you might learn is actually about auras. In New Age circles, auras are usually thought to be a kind of energy that emits from your body and follows the same frequency pattern as the chakras, where the root is the smallest body, the physical form, and then the sacral body, solar body, heart body, and so on radiate outwardly around you. Many people claim to see auras, and there are actually techniques that may help you to do so, including unfocusing your eyes on a person or even just putting a hand in front of a black screen. It's not uncommon to see either a colored or white glow around the object of your focus. The aura system mirrors the chakra system almost identically, because in a way, it's part of the same system. The aura reflects your energy body on the outside, just as your chakras reflect your energy body on the inside. However, both of these systems weave together to create the human light body. Much like how when you put the 7 colors together in light, you get pure white light. The thing is, there are actually many different types of light bodies, reflecting different geometries that can be necessary for different purposes. The most commonly discussed one is the star tetrahedron, but you can have a light body based on any of the platonic solids. And then there is even the Covenant 486 Merkaba, which is said to be the root of the Tree of Life system itself, and which we explore in our Spirit Medicine Walkers workshop at the end, for those who are interested. For the purposes of simplicity, today we're going to be exploring the original Merkaba that we learned, which is a great place to get started. But before we jump into anything else, there's something we must know. No matter how much you try to understand the light body, Merkabas, and chakras through the sacred geometry and logical explanations, it will never be enough on its own. As Drunvalo has explained, there is a missing half of our understanding that is purely experiential, and can only be experienced through your own practice when centered with love. As we understand it, the Merkaba is the divine light vehicle used by ascended masters to connect with and reach the higher realms. It is the full extent of our energetic and subtle body that, when fully active, encompasses our whole self and can stretch out to anywhere between 55 and 72 feet. This particular one is based on the blueprints of Metatron's cube and the tetrahedral energy field, taking the shape of 2 counter-rotating tetrahedrons spinning around the body in line with the chakras up the spine as the axis. And though while it may look like there's only 2 star tetrahedrons, there's actually 3, but the third is overlaid onto the others and is often forgotten about in the meditations. The Merkaba is an extension of our energy field, or our collective energy field, that acts as a vehicle which allows us to move through the different dimensions and frequencies all around us. The word itself actually comes from the Hebrew word that means chariot or cart, and forms a huge part of Ezekiel's vision in the tradition of Merkaba mysticism. In the book of Ezekiel, the Merkaba is used to refer to the throne chariot of God, the 4-wheeled vehicle driven by 4 cherubim, each of which has 4 wings and 4 faces, of a man, lion, ox, and eagle, often which are esoterically seen as reflections of the 4 elements. For the most part, the teachings of the Merkaba mysteries revolved around the visions of the prophet, which were centered around stories of ascension and people transcending the physical world into the realm of God. Some writers have even argued that early Christian theology and discourse was influenced by the Jewish Merkaba tradition to some extent. In fact, some see the accounts of St. Paul, who has been argued to be influenced by Gnosticism, to be one of the earliest first accounts that we have of a Merkaba mystic in Jewish or Christian literature. Throughout Kabbalistic history, though, discussions concerning the Merkaba were limited to only the most worthy sages, as it was considered overzealous to ponder on the nature of higher worlds and what they looked like. In more modern teachings, Melchizedek tells us that the Merkaba can be recreated in conscious breathing and meditations in as little as 18 breaths. The first 6 are for balancing the polarity, the next 7 are for proper pranic flow through the entire body, and the final breaths are from shifting the consciousness from 3rd to 4th dimension, and then finally, the last 3 breaths are for recreating the rotating Merkaba within and around the body. The meditation has a lot of parts, though, and while we may animate it one day, if you want to walk through, you can check out Drunvalo Melchizedek's Flower of Life, Volume 2. Ultimately, the first step to creating and remembering your Merkaba is always love. And even Melchizedek explains that a lot of people don't need all of the left brain steps because the right brain, the experience of love, is enough to activate it naturally. To be clear, there are different kinds of Merkabas out there. Absolutely. In fact, in one particular plant medicine ceremony, Arrhythmia, both appeared in my inner vision and shared with me a different Merkaba than I'd ever seen before. It was octagonal in nature, surrounding my body with a 3-stranded DNA helix spiraling through it, and a tremendous volume of rainbow particles shooting out of the bottom and rising up to the top. Wild stuff. That said, I know we talk about the importance of love in this kind of stuff a lot,
Bro.
but it really is the most vital part. Love and connection are the very life and heart of the Merkaba and light body that supports the chakras, as love is said to be the frequency of creation itself. To that end, the Merkaba isn't just a tool or some aspect of you, it is alive and fully a part of you. It's no different than how you have a nose or an arm. The Merkaba light body is what lays the blueprints for the nadis and axiotonal lines that we talked about before. It literally is the lines that allow the prana, chi, and energy to flow back into you and out into the universe. Our Merkaba is our connection to the divine. It's what links us to each other and the universe itself. So how does the Merkaba light body relate to the chakras exactly? Well, the 8 chakras that run through our spine actually have duplicates in the space around our body, inside the extended Merkabic field. They're said to
Nice.
look like spheres of energy that vary in size depending on your own size and height, the same as the Merkaba itself. Like the energetic flow
The
system
boss
mentioned
level,
earlier,
okay.
they're laid out in the blueprint of Metatron's cube. Each sphere sits on the edge or point of a tetrahedron and are kind of like our chakras twins. And Melchizedek said he was actually able to find a record of them using a molecular emission scanner. So when it comes down to it, you can think of our spiritual structure like this. First, there is the energy flow through the chakras, which is facilitated by the nadis when we breathe in and out. From there, the meridian points and lesser chakras reach every cell in the body. On top of that, we have the prana field, which is very close to the body and is generated by the flow of energy through the chakras.
Where did I put
Going
my
up in
vision?
layers, on top of the pranic field, we have the auric field that extends a few feet around us in every direction and is generated by our thoughts and emotions and energy all working together. This is the realm of the dream time and something that we'll talk about in great detail later on. Guiding and protecting our auric field is another energy field in the shape of the egg of life, the original shape of creation. Once you get past that, you start to get into the realms of light and geometry, and our energy takes on a much more geometric nature that can be influenced by our consciousness. Herein we find the light bulb. Yet these geometries are overlaid across and through all of our lesser systems, much like how streams branching off from a river
He's
would be like
British,
a smaller
right.
fractal of the greater body from which it comes. When you bridge your newly mastered lower centers with the previously unknown higher centers, and when you're willing to step through that doorway into what's next, everything in your life has the capacity to change as you step into the life of an empowered creator, creating
I don't even
creation
know what
with
to
all that
say.
is. Salutations. We're on the cusp of a whole new reality. Surely you can feel it. After all, you're a vital part of it. Our world is changing, and we are changing. But changing into what? When we make the sovereign decision to be the change we want to see, we participate with the global transformation and blend our energies together, making for a greater, more positive shift of ages. As we deepen our understanding of ourselves, we expand into what's possible for the world around us. And what better way to deepen into ourselves than by connecting with each other like a chapel of sacred mirrors? Thank you, Alice Gray. Seeing each other in our aliveness helps all of us to step into our creative power, remembering that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. It leads to both knowing ourselves deeper and removing obstacles and limitations from our own energy field, because we learn from each other how to find the elusive way of spirit and balance that with our human nature. So many of us have been walking the solo path for a long time, or only had a few friends that they really felt they could connect with. I know that because it's a part of my story too.
Me too, me too.
Back when spirit science was first made, it was a very different.
You too. Bismillah. What's happening?
Different world, but the same thing happened that is still happening now. Our YouTube channel and social presence is a place of open-hearted connection, and we so cherish the love and comments that we receive from you, both then and now. And I feel a sense of closeness with this community that I've never really felt before, truly. And today, I want to invite this community to come a little bit closer. I want to invite you to come and experience Spirit Mysteries, now freely available to every spiritual seeker. Spirit Mysteries is a spiritual social network, but it's more than that too. It's a school for the mystic arts and a sanctum for the evolution of consciousness. Said in a lofty spiritual way, it's a space where we may all spiral together in a great energetic field and create massive ripples within the human consciousness field. Within our hallowed halls and crystal classrooms, we host daily polls and questions, weekly events and gatherings, lunar ceremonies, complementing nicely with the all-member chat and activity feed that you can use to connect with your global spirit family. Our theme of the month while we're putting this video together is currently Christ consciousness. But at our next lunar ceremony, it's going to shift into practical magic, just in case you're interested.
No, I'm good, man. I have nothing to do with all this, man.
Yo, I heard that most of you guys think that if you claim to be a Muslim, that anytime people talk about a thing called law of attraction, automatically you're just like, that's just a bunch of BS. And you know what, bro, like, I don't blame you, to be honest, because as soon as you go online, all you'll see is just a bunch of people that claim that, oh, you just have to, like, say the words, be like, I'm rich, and automatically a language is gonna come and show up in your house. Listen, that's not how it works. You don't just sit in a room and just be like, I'm black, and then automatically, like, you get the N-word passed. That's not how it works.
Whoa,
so video, I'm
black.
To basically getting whatever you want. And listen, I'm giving this to you from a Muslim perspective, so you won't hear things that don't even make sense. Everything I'll give you is practical, so as soon as you finish the video, go ahead and try it, and just trust me, for a whole month to try it, and you'll see results. So I'll be showing you a 5-step process, but I don't really have an acronym for it. You don't need acronyms. You're not a baby. No acronyms in this video. But the very first step is this right here, which is to activate your taqwa. Listen, taqwa is basically living in God consciousness mode. So if you go online right now and then you just search up the word taqwa and you just see how people translated this word, I don't know why, I just feel like it's a bit misleading because, listen, taqwa is basically living like there's an eye of the Creator on you 24/7, which means not a single breath passes by without you being in the state. Like as you're breathing right now, you're basically aware that there's someone, like there's an eye that's watching you every single moment. So you live knowing that Allah is watching you, which means that anything that takes you away from the state is not good. Which means that if you open your laptop right now and you're just looking at a bunch of haram things, that means that this exact thing that you're doing is taking you away from the state. So you shouldn't be doing this. Or if you're just sitting down and you're like backbiting with your friends and it's taking you away from the state of taqwa, then you shouldn't be doing this. Or for example, like you just start sitting down and you start smoking like weed and stuff. It's taking you away from the state, which means you shouldn't be doing this thing. But then, when you start living from the state, automatically it's like anything that's negative is not going to be affecting you negatively. Like, look, bro, like you'll start having even.
A good
like,
example is a lot of people that don't sin in front of people. This is why Islam is the answer. Right? A lot of people that don't sin in front of people, but they sin whenever no one's watching. But whether people are watching you or other people or no one's watching you, Allah's always watching. So it's like that's the one that you should really be afraid of and worried about. And in that case, you're doing acts of worship or being sincere to people and not sincere to God. But you should be sincere to God and not sincere to people. You really shouldn't even concern yourself with what people think, only with what God thinks. So be yourself in front of people and realize that they're also being watched by God too, and they're also going to be judged. So yeah, that takes away anxiety as well.
Problems in your life, but you'll just go through the problems because you're just like, Allah's always watching me, so all is well. So the other day, actually, I was in Medina, right, in Saudi Arabia. I went to the taxi, and then something happened where the taxi guy, he started getting mad at me when he was supposed to be getting mad at the other guy. It's a long story. It wasn't really my fault, but he got mad at me. So the entire time throughout the ride, this taxi guy would just like be cussing, he'd be complaining, he'd be talking nonstop to the point that he even said something that actually offended me. But immediately, I'm just like, wait a minute, like, just go back to the state of taqwa. And then immediately once I went back to the state of taqwa, knowing that Allah is always watching me, and Allah is watching me in this exact moment right now, automatically it's like nothing was really affecting me. It's almost like there was like a shield, like an invisible shield around me, that any word that would come, it wouldn't hurt. Or even anything that would happen to me, it wouldn't hurt. So at some point, like, as I was in the car with this taxi guy, even he started calming down. So at some point, he'd be like,
when did this guy
start talking to me about like dead parents and all that stuff? And the entire time, I'm just like, wow, bro, like if I actually responded to this guy, like it would have literally led to a fight. But somehow I remained calm. I didn't really say anything, and all of a sudden, everything was fine. So this is the very first step. Because listen, even beyond the law of attraction, this step is extremely powerful. That's why it's the first. You'll also notice that when you do this first step, you'll have no attachment to the world. You'll feel extremely relaxed, and you'll live your whole life with 0% judgment. You'll literally live like a, you know, it's like when you see a baby, and then a baby's like anything that someone says to it, anything that someone does to it, like he or she, it doesn't feel anything. Like it doesn't really mind. Like if you hurt it, obviously it's gonna be crying, but anything that happens, the baby's not affected, and that's how you'll be living. It's almost like you go back to your true self. It's like the other day I held my nephew when he was younger actually, and then I dropped him, but he didn't hate me. He still wanted me to hold him after that too. I'm just like, that's actually crazy. Like this little kid did not really have any resentment towards me. He still wanted to be in my arms, which is actually crazy. So you don't hold on to emotions. You just flow with the world. And it might be complicated to do. Like if I give you all these promises when you live in the state of taqwa and all that stuff, you might think this is so complicated. Bro, all you have to do is realize there's an eye that's always watching you. And this is the eye of your creator. It never leaves. So you could wake up and go sleep, and this eye is still there. You could be born, which you are. You'll reach your 80, bro. And this is the same eye. The same eye is still there. Bro, you can die and be in a coma, and this eye is still there. So listen, you can end this whole video right now. And just this tip alone is gonna
That's Iman. That's the beauty, man. But I just wish he didn't want to say one eye. I wish he said two eyes. Because one eye is a sign of the Antichrist. He'll have one eye. But the Dajjal, not the Antichrist, the Dajjal. But yeah, God has two eyes. But I know God has two eyes. What do I know, bro? Come on. I'm pause. What?
transform your whole life. Forget the law of attraction. Just this tip alone is gonna transform your whole life. And trust me, like, bro, I believe in this so much. Like, I'm talking about how like you can literally end suffering with this. If you have cancer and then you're living from a state of taqwa, you'll live like you're so content, like you're so happy, like nothing's affecting you negatively. So again, step number one is just realize there's an eye that's always watching over you, and your awareness on this eye, just being aware that this eye is here, is the whole process. Like this is the whole work. Just being aware that there's an eye that's watching you. That's it. And listen, this is experiential. Like this is not something that you'll read from a book and automatically you're just like, yeah, I understand it. No. I mean, this is an experience that you have to go through, which you can literally do it right this moment right now. So you can pause the video and then have this awakening right now. Be aware that Allah is always watching you right now, and then you can proceed to step number 2. So step number 2. So now from this state of taqwa, ask yourself, what do I really, really want? Like, what is it that I actually want? And you don't have to answer this immediately. Like, you just ask yourself, ask the question, and just let it go. Because the whole point is that you're supposed to be getting the answer effortlessly. Because listen, most of you guys are like setting goals and stuff. You would be setting a goal, and you would just be like, I want to make $10,000 per month. Ask yourself, like, where did that goal even come from? You know where that goal came from? You would go online, you would see a bunch of people, even me to be honest, who claim that you can make $10,000 per month. So automatically for you, you're just like, that's my goal. It seems like that's what people care about, so that's my goal. But bro, you got this goal from somewhere else, from something outside of you. So this is just programming. The real you doesn't really want this goal. This is just the fake you writing down some stuff just to feel like you're doing something. So this is not even your true goal, Habibi. Also, like, who told you that your life is only limited to $10,000 per month? Like, why are you putting brakes on yourself, bro? Your heart, if you actually love it, it lives with 0% love. You realize that the brain is so careful. The brain walks around and it's just like, careful, bro. Don't do this, don't do that. You might get hurt, you might do this. But when you live from the heart doesn't care. The heart will find something that it loves and it'll go, like, it'll immediately dive into that thing without even thinking, it's like, is this gonna hurt me? Is this gonna do this? What if I fail? What if I do this? There was not a single excuse in the heart. But in the mind, that's where you find everything. So I'm telling you, it's like when you're step number 2, forget the mind and set a goal from the heart. Also, it's like the heart or the soul, they're both synonymous. It knows the creator. So it knows the creator is abundant and the creator gives in abundance, but your mind is just too polluted, bro. It's too programmed. So it starts setting these like limiting goals. So ask yourself, what do I really want? And then just wait till your own heart answers the question. Don't force it. Just ask and let go. And I'm telling you, it's like your mind's always like, what if I fail? What about like I don't get it like the time limit that I have? What if like how do I even know how it's gonna happen? Like what's the how? That's how the mind thinks because it's just been programmed. But then if you look at the heart is not a peasant. The mind is a peasant. The way the heart thinks is that everything's unlimited, everything's abundant, everything's beautiful. And if you don't believe me, I told you the soul comes directly from Allah. So when you look at nature, it's abundance, it's unlimited, it's beautiful, it's effortless. It does everything with the least amount of energy like used. And when you look at nature, you're basically looking at the reality that's raw. So this is a raw reality, and your heart is not like polluted like the mind. So the heart is still raw, which means that once you get past the programming, then you start living this raw reality just like nature. And I just told you, a raw reality is that of abundance, of like effortlessness, of knowing that all is well, of knowing that everything's unlimited. So anyway, once your heart gives you a goal, your goal might actually just be like $100 million per year. You never know, because like, again, ask, and then your heart is going to give you the answer effortlessly. So if your heart is giving you an answer like $100 million a year, if that's the goal, then dang, bro, just go with it. This is the goal, that's it. Don't be like, wait a minute, but that's not realistic. That millionaire I saw on TikTok was telling me to like set realistic goals and blah, blah, blah. Forget that guy. I'm telling you, live from the heart, not the mind. So forget the mind and write that goal down, $100 million per year. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you see step number 3 is whatever the goal is, if you ever take this goal and then you put it on like a pedestal, just pretend like automatically the goal is impossible. You'll never be able to achieve it. What's so sad is that one human would think that $100 million per year is too little. Another human would think that 10K is too much. So it's all relative, which means that if you're thinking from the mind, it's all false. This is false and this is false. Again, think from the heart. Both are easy. Both are effortless. So take that goal and remove it from this pedestal that you added because of your mind. Also, listen, the more you want something, the less likely you'll get it. And the more you desire something, the less likely you'll get it. And this is a universal law. Because look, whenever you put your attention on something that's like other than Allah, and you think that that thing is so amazing, it's so big, it's so magnificent and stuff, then what's going to happen is that Allah will never allow you to have that goal, because now Allah's trying to prove to you that Allahu Akbar. Allah is greatest. Allah is literally like the greatest being there is. There's nothing greater. It's like, bro, like, how can something be greater than your creator? So this law, it works on Muslims and non-Muslims. And what's so sad is that, bro, you'll see Muslims, like non-Muslims actually nowadays, would think that 100 million is nothing. And then as a result, they would go and achieve it. But then you will see Muslims themselves, bro, the ones who every single salah they say Allahu Akbar. You will see the same Muslims, they would think that 100 million is way too much, it's too great, I can't achieve it. What are you guys doing? We're the ones that are supposed to be like the holders of this beautiful message, and then you're thinking it's like a number is too great that I can't achieve it. How do you like, did you forget? We always say Allahu Akbar, Allah is greater. Whatever thing we have in our mind, whatever goal we set, whatever thing we see, Allah is greater. So in reality, Allah himself, he tells you, the creator is greater than anything, the creator is the greatest, and Allah gives in abundance. Allah gives in abundance. So this is the first thing, like if you set a goal that's like 100 million, take that goal and take it off the pedestal. One thing that helps is that Allah has promised the good people and the ones that believe in Allah that they're going to be living in heaven in the afterlife, right? A Prophet ﷺ himself, he said that if you work towards the afterlife, then this life that you're living in right now is going to come crawling to you. Do you know what that means? Combine these two things together and just look at this sketch, this beautiful sketch I'm going to show you. So look, this right here is the dots, right? So this is the goal that you're setting. This is 100 million. Allah's promising the afterlife. Muhammad ﷺ is promising that if you work towards the afterlife, this life will come crawling to you. That means that this giant circle right here, just pretend like this circle is giant. This giant circle is the afterlife, and this dot right here is this life. That means if you're setting a $100 million goal, this is way too little compared to what Allah has in store for you. Which means that now, when you work towards the afterlife, you're...
I've seen that too. No.
And this dot, giant circle right here, just pretend like the circle is giant. This giant circle is the afterlife, and this dot right here is this life. That means if you're setting a $100 million goal, this is way too little compared to what Allah has in store for you. Which means that now, when you work towards the afterlife, you're working towards something that's so great to the point that anything within this life is little. It's this big. It's nothing. So 100 million, for you, as a Muslim, is supposed to be nothing. And I told you, the more you desire something, the more you want something, you think that that thing is big. And the more you do that, the less likely you'll get it, because now you're putting your attention on this small dot right here. Now, once you put your attention on the truth, this big circle right here, this little thing, it's so easy to achieve, bro. It's so easy. How can it not be easy? And again, I'm telling you, it's like the Creator himself. If you're a Muslim, you believe this. The Creator himself is promising you this. Promising you that there is something big that's like waiting for you in the afterlife. So then why are you now putting your attention on this small thing right here? It makes no sense. Now, what this also means, this whole analogy, is that if you're struggling for this right here, then you're living life backwards, bro. You're supposed to be struggling for this. This is supposed to be the easy part. You're not supposed to be struggling for this. Now, you might be asking this, like, well, bro, how am I not supposed to be struggling when I'm trying to like get more wealth? Again, put your attention here. Don't be putting your attention on this small little dot, 100 million. Put your attention here. And then go and still do the actions that require you to actually achieve this result that you want. Now, once you actually internalize this, because this is step number 3, you wrote down the goal, but now you're supposed to internalize this. Don't put the goal on the pedestal. Know that your goal is nothing. To Allah, it's nothing. The truth is that it's nothing. And then once you do that, do step number 4, which is to live like the goal is already done. Remember, bro, who the heck are you asking? Who's the one that's running your whole life? Who's the one that's running the entire earth? Allah's running the entire earth, man, the Creator, which means that 100 million, $1, 100 trillion, all these numbers are nothing to Allah. You're limiting yourself, but why are you limiting Allah? Allah can do anything. Like, you might not be able to do anything physically, but Allah can. So if you ask something, anything from Allah, just know that the goal is done. Just consider the dua done. Consider your request over, like it's done. You achieved the thing already. And there's actually a hadith Qudsi that says that Muhammad said that Allah said, I am as my servant thinks of me. This is a hadith Qudsi, which means that it's a word from the tongue of Muhammad, but it's coming from Allah. Which basically means that Allah gives in abundance. So if you think Allah gives you wealth easily, then Allah's going to give you wealth in abundance easily. Now if you think that Allah's always going to put you in lack, then Allah will put you in lack in abundance easily. This is the law, bro. teaching me this is the law of abundance. So again, it's like if you're thinking that, man, I'm always sick, I'm always getting into like having a fever, I'm getting issues, my kids don't like me, my wife doesn't like me, blah blah blah. If you always think this way, and you think that Allah's doing that to you, you'll get an abundance of that. But now if you're always thinking it's like Allah always provides for me, I'm always being taken care of by Allah, which is the truth, by the way. Allah gives me whatever I ask for, whatever I want, then Allah's going to give you that in abundance. Allah says in the Quran that I've given you everything you've asked for. Now you don't ask by saying, may I please? You ask with your thoughts. If you're saying something like, I'm always like this, I'm always like I'm always sad, I'm always depressed, you'll get more of that in abundance too. But if you're always thinking it's like, oh, it's so easy, how is life so easy? It's literally just like a stroll, it's like a fun thing that I'm doing and that's it. Like life's so simple, bro. If you're always thinking that way, then that's what you'll get in abundance. Now listen, you don't really have to even struggle for the goals. So if you believe that you don't have to struggle for the goals, you'll have that in abundance. Again, right here, I'm like, you guys think the whole law of attraction thing is something outside of Islam and all that stuff, because you never do the research, bro, you never sit down and think about the ayat or the hadith and all that stuff. Humans themselves, bro, they think in so, like, it's so much lacking. What's wrong with you guys? Like, you're always thinking of lacking. Have you actually not went outside and just seen how, like, abundant nature is, how beautiful nature is? Even the desert is abundant. Like, you look at the desert, and you're like, how many grains of sand is in this one desert? It's unlimited. You look at your whole body. How many hairs do I have right here? Abundance. This is actually the way that I live. I'm like, if you think everything in life is easy, then Allah will make everything easy in abundance. Bro, I truly believe, I'm like, everything in life is easy. As a result, everything will be easy. That was funny, because when I actually do think, I'm like, because I was actually getting into crypto, the whole Bitcoin thing, I was like, this is so hard, I'm gonna lose so much money, and as a result, that's what happens. Now listen, the last step is to surrender. Don't resist, man. When you do the whole previous steps that I just showed you right now, you'll notice that if you live every single moment based on the previous steps that I showed you, you'll notice that there's gonna be things that are happening in your life, and those exact things are the things that are gonna move you towards your goal. Now listen, you might have done all these steps that I just told you right now, and then what's gonna happen is that somehow you'll just get fired from your job. If such a thing happens, again, surrender, don't resist. Just realize that whatever Allah's putting your way, it's moving you towards your goal. Now, if you actually got fired after doing all these steps, and then as soon as you got fired, you're just like, man, Allah hates me, Allah doesn't like me, Allah is like trying to make my life poor and all that stuff. If you start thinking such a way, then you didn't do all these steps. You're back into like square one, for example. Basically, what happened when you do that is that it's almost like you've fallen off from like the grace, because now what's gonna happen is that Allah, again, I am as my servant thinks I am. So what you'll get is that more of this thing that you're thinking is, oh, suffering, Allah doesn't like me. You'll get more things that tell you that Allah does not like you in abundance too. But if you surrender, if you don't resist, so you lost your job, but then you're not resisting. You're just thinking that, well, this is Allah moving me towards my goal. This is the best thing that could have happened to me because Allah's moving me towards my goal. When you start thinking this way, then you're still on track. By the way, if you do fall off grace, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. Once again, all you have to do is just restart. Go back to taqwa. Even do istighfar. Say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Go back. Do the steps once again.
What the heck is the
elephant
in the
back on track. And then eventually what's going to happen is that something magnificent is going to happen in your life to the point that you'll be so shocked. Like, bro, randomly you'll stumble on like something that you do, and it just so happens that that thing that you did was like the perfect thing to do at the time. Like when I said I go start making money online, it's so crazy because things just started coming to me.
Bro, every time I hate like,
I wanted to get more knowledge.
It takes a lot of help.
Literally, like the knowledge started coming to me. I remember, bro, like what did Allah say? Allah says, whoever fears Allah, whoever has taqwa of Allah. See, I like the word. I don't like when they say whoever fears Allah, because Allah says, Allah, He will make for him a way out, and He will provide to him from what he does not expect. So you'll have something coming to you from a place that you don't even expect it. And don't even try to like think, oh, is it gonna come from here? Is it gonna come from here? Forget about all of that. Just live in the present, and then whatever happens, don't resist it. Just surrender to the moment, and just keep doing the things. Because remember, whoever relies upon Allah, they'll find Allah sufficient for you. So keep doing things, knowing that Allah's with you right now. Like Allah's watching you right now. So just keep doing everything. So let go of control. Be in a state of Islam. Like surrender. And just take any action that comes your way. Don't even overthink it. Also think of it like when you're about to go fall asleep. Now, when you fall asleep, have you noticed that the more you try to fall asleep, the harder it is for you to sleep? And then the more you let go, like you surrender, you'll notice that when you're lying down, eventually you'll just fall asleep. So this right here in life is the same exact thing. Just don't be forcing anything. Just relax, bro. Relax. Just basically like do the action. So when you go to sleep right now, what are you doing? Like you put your back on the bed, and you close your eyes. So you're doing the action, and then you set the intention that right now I'm gonna go to sleep. So you set the intention. You did the act. That's exactly what you do in your life too. So you set the intention. That your goal is the intention, and then you're doing the action. Which is just go on the laptop, bro. Like click some button and stuff. So you have the intention, you have the action, and then whatever comes your way, accept it. You'll notice that the goal is gonna actually come to you effortlessly, and don't be forcing anything. Just know that the goal is done. Like know it. Live from the state that you know it's done. Again, who are you asking? You're asking Allah. That means everything is done. That's it. Just do the action. That's it. And habibi, do this for a whole month, and then just watch the magic that's gonna happen to you in your life, man. And there's actually a beautiful quote right here that says that as you start to walk on the way appears. That's all it is, bro. And then when the way appears, just keep walking on it. Again, like it's going to be effortless. Although the road is never ending, take a step and keep walking. Do not look fearfully into the distance. On this path, let the heart, once again, be your guide, for the body is hesitant and full of fear. Start living from the heart. The mind is just too fearful. And there's actually this beautiful, I think this is a poem by Shams Tabrizi, that says that the chemistry of mind is different from the chemistry of love, which is the heart. The mind is careful, suspicious. He advances little by little. He advises, be careful, protect yourself. Whereas love, or the heart, says, let yourself go. The mind is strong, it's like it never falls down, while the heart, it hurts itself. It falls into ruins. But isn't it in ruins that we mostly find the treasures? A broken heart hides so many treasures. This is beautiful, bro. Like, this is the stuff that this guy was a Muslim. Who is talking about this guy? Ever. From the world that we have right now, from the Muslims that we have. Who's ever talking about Shams Tabrizi? These people... And then he says, how we see God is a direct reflection of how we see ourselves. If God brings to mind mostly fear and blame, it means that there's too much fear and blame dwelt inside us. If we see God as full of love and compassion, so are we. This is the entire hadith. I am as my servant thinks of me. And then this one right here. The path to the truth is a labor of the heart, not of the head. Make your heart your primary guide. Let your mind meet, challenge, and ultimately prevail over your nafs with your heart. Knowing your false ego will lead you to the knowledge of Allah. It's crazy, man. The whole path just goes back to Allah. So again, just do this for a month and just watch the magic that's going to happen to you. Finish this video off right now, implement this stuff, and then come back to this video. Leave a little, go right down in the comments, and just tell me what happened after you're done these 5 steps. I'd love to actually see it. So if this video is helpful, just let me know, Habibi.
Bro. Turbo 3. Chill.
Round 1. Fight.
I don't know how to do super. How do you do it? Boom.
You win. Round 3. Fight.
Bro.
You lose.
Is it over the middle? No way. No way. I just need to hit him. He's weak. This guy's weak. I just need to hit him.
Round 3, fight.
Hey, go meditate now, bro.
Japan.
How easy right it is, bro.
Round 1, fight. You lose. Round 2, fight. You lose. Nine.
You must defeat Shenlong to have it. Shenron. It's not Dragon Ball Z. Man.
Round 1, fight. You win. Round 2, fight. You win. Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Round 1, fight.
Ooh. All of a sudden, this guy's good now, bro.
You lose. Round 2, fight.
What? What is that? Mon.
Round one, fight! You win! Round two, fight!
No!
You win!
Go Bob Marley in the back. This is like Xenoverse. Fighter Z. Mexico.
Mexico!
T-Hawk. Let's fight T-Hawk. This guy looks Native American.
Round one, fight!
Oh, whoa, whoa. That attack is crazy, bro. He just charges like, no.
Round three, fight!
Nice.
You win! USA! Round one, fight!
Even those guys the same moves as Ryu, he's way harder, man, to fight.
Round one. Fight.
Bro. Nah, no way. Bro! Look at his health. There's nothing there.
Round one. Fight.
No. Again, look at his health, man. Oh. Start.
Round one. Fight.
Bro, he's quick, man. I thought it was him for a second. No, I have to get. Bro, what is this? There we go. Die! What the heck was that, man? Battle 14? No, Hadouken, Shoryuken. Didn't die? Oh, wait. No! We got this.
Round 1.
15 battles, bro. The house is the one, man. Sorry. It's crazy, man. It's been so long since I played an actual hard game like challenge game. The Elden Ring counts, but this one, bro, it's crazy, man. There we go. Nice. Spamming, that's the only way. Well, the battle in Hong Kong, let's go. Bruce Lee. Why is he frowning like that, man? Smile, bro. Life is beautiful, bro.
Round 1. Fight.
I haven't hit him once yet. It's quick, what the hell? must learn to block my speed, or you was over.
Round 1, fight!
Just need to close the distance, that's it, man. Oh, he's too quick, man. What the heck? Oh, what? You see how quickly that match was? 9 seconds or whatever?
Round 1, fight!
That was quick, what the heck? Again, I feel like this guy's weak. He's just too fast. Nice, we got him. Battle in China, woman versus woman.
Round 1, fight! Round one. Fight.
Oh, I can't even hit it. Bro, what?
You lose. Round two. Fight.
Way too hard, bro.
You lose. Nine. 8. 7. 6. Round one. Fight. You win. Round two. Fight.
See, that's the first time I've ever seen a super attack used. I don't even know how to use mine.
Round three. Fight.
Oh, we got this. There we go.
You win.
Nice. Got 3 more fights, and then we get this dub. Mike Tyson's gonna be easy, bro. Watch. He has no range, bro. He's like Little Mac from Smash Bros. Oh, what the heck? He's strong. Every punch takes a lot, bro. Double knockout. Bro, what the heck was that?
You lose.
Bro. Nice.
You win. Round 2, fight.
Bro, if I get hit, it's over, man. Nice. Bro, look at his health, man.
You lose. Round 3, fight.
Can't let him hit me, bro. Shouldn't be this hard, bro. Nice. Get him.
You win.
Now I get to drive that car home.
Spain.
Spain, who is this? I've never seen this character. Vega? Vegeta?
Round 1, fight.
He's quick. Nice, nice, nice.
You win.
He's quick, but he's weak.
Round 2, fight.
How does he do that, okay? Acrobat, man.
You lose. Round 3, fight.
That was my throw, huh? No way. That was my throw, bro.
You lose.
What do you say? Handsome fighters never lose battles? What does that have to do with fighting?
Round 1, fight. You lose.
Still keep doing that.
You win. Round 3. Fight. You lose. Nine. Round 1. Fight. You lose. Round 2. Fight. You lose. Nine. 8. 7. Round 1. Fight. Fight. You
Sit
win.
down.
Round 2. Fight.
No, no, no. Are you seeing this? Oh my god, man.
Round 3. Fight.
Yes, let's go, bro.
You win.
Look at his face. Final battle.
Thailand. Round one. Fight.
What the heck is that, Buddha?
You lose. Round two. Fight.
Sneaky one.
You lose. Nine.
This guy's missing a right eye. That's a bad sign.
Thailand.
Sagat's themed Sagat's theme.
Round one. Fight.
The concept version made by Jalehu was the song used in LTG's 110K special. How does it go? It goes
Fight. Fight.
Why is he saying every move that he does? Hyper uppercut. Sit down.
You win.
Trying to act like a Buddha, man. Buddhas don't fight.
Fight.
Hyper uppercut. Whoa, whoa. I should have got him there, bro.
You lose.
Hyper uppercut.
Three. Fight.
Oh my god, bro. That does too much damage, that uppercut.
You lose.
Takes like 30% mile. Not a warrior, you're a beginner.
Thailand.
Dizzy. Bro.
Round one, fight!
Hyper, hyper, hyper.
Round one, fight!
Hyper uppercut. Alhamdulillah. The heck, man.
Round one, fight!
Sit down, bro. Sit down, Sagat.
You win.
Yeah, now he's laying down just like Buddha. Bro, there's more? Are you serious? The heck? That was the last one. This one's about to be crazy hard, bro.
Round 1. Fight.
What in the world, bro? Bro was so quick, what the heck? I have like 5 more battles. This is gonna be the last one, bro.
Round 1. Fight.
How do I do a super? Alright, sir. Save.